Sick, yeah.
I don't know if I'm crying because of the onions or because of what you're saying about my dead dad.
I
shouldn't be rubbing my eyes, man.
Definitely not.
Give it to those damn kids.
Give it to those two kids who are sending shit about me. Hey, Naz.
Hey, Tony.
How you going?
I'm good. Great to be here in your fake kitchen.
Thank you. When's the last time you cut an onion?
Oh, man. I make it a point as a man to be in the kitchen a lot. I think a man's role is...
If that was true, you'd just say the last time. No one goes, oh, great question.
Right.
Here's the backstory.
It's been about a week.
Okay.
Actually, it's been about several months. I don't remember.
Hey, should we commence?
Let's commence. So, we just start cutting onions?
Yeah.
All right. I guess that's what we're here for. You don't even peel them? You don't peel them?
Well, I was going to get you. Sure, you go. How are you going to? Hang on. Can you just show me?
Okay, this is
with another one.
This is a bad. That was a bad. I'll show you
how are you going to peel without chopping a bit off? Peel without chopping a bit off.
Okay, just like this, man. Just start from the top. I mean, this is how I used to do it as a kid, right? But now I've known it's just a stupid way of doing it.
Have you never?
I swear. Okay, I tell you, growing up, right, I had to peel potatoes and onions, right, and friggin',
I've never seen this.
Are you serious? So when did you start peeling onions?
No, I've never. I always go top, bottom off.
So you never did this as a kid, basically, unless your irresponsible parents let you use
you think?
knife.
I love the idea that you think my mum was putting onions in anything.
What do you mean? How do you cook?
Bro,
what do you
my house didn't have condiments. So
what did you guys eat?
5 nights a week, we had sausages, mashed spuds, which just had water, no butter or anything, and then steamed broccoli and carrots.
Wow. Is this like a health thing? Are you guys allergic to flavour or something, or was it?
No, my mum just didn't rate cooking.
Really?
It was fuel.
Sheesh, man. I mean, that's a neglectful childhood.
Thank you.
And so did Human Services ever find out, or it was actually...
No. They'd come to the door and they'd just be bribed with a sausage sandwich.
Because like the base for any... So you guys grew up on that, and I got sick of curry every single night. Rice and curry. But now, I feel like we're at the same age.
Different curries?
Oh, it was mostly chicken curry, mince curry, lamb curry, but also dal, which in Sri Lanka we call paripu.
Paripu.
Which I feel uncomfortable saying now because paripu, it sort of sounds like poo.
Yeah, how are you just working that out now?
Well,
surely as a kid you went, this is poo-poo.
Yeah, exactly.
Is yours getting
it's already starting to did you know apparently you cry because something in your eye is telling your brain that they're on fire.
That there's something in the air?
Well, that it's literally that your eye's on fire. So your brain sends tears to your eyes to put the fire out.
Your brain sends tears to your eyes?
Well, I don't think it transports the tears.
Your brain's this little just water sack.
It's like a fire brigade.
Is this not? Is this not getting you?
This is actually a little bit you are really.
It's just good to see you.
Did you know, to make a curry, you got to start with a few onions, and what you can do is you can just cut. This is probably enough. What are you doing with all these? Are you even going to use this afterwards? Or are you just chucking the what do you call it? The pips? What are the end bits?
We're donating it to your dad's Need Respect 2 fund.
Oh, yeah, my dad died actually.
When did your dad die?
Oh, I'm laughing, but I tried to make you feel awkward, but you actually...
But when did your dad die?
He died a few years ago, 2021.
In COVID?
During COVID.
Could you not go to the funeral?
Couldn't go to the funeral. He was in Sri Lanka. He's lived there since I was a kid, basically.
Well, he doesn't live there anymore.
Well, he lives there now. Now he lives there he's permanent.
Isn't he dead?
Yeah, but he's there. He's residing on a full-term basis.
He stays there.
He stays there.
Yeah,
it depends on your beliefs here, but maybe his soul is elsewhere.
Yeah, but sorry, our beliefs. But no one's saying he's still alive. That's not a belief thing.
It's not a belief. But who is he? Who are we?
Well, he's dead.
Are we bodies occupying souls, or are we souls living in this?
I don't know, but he's. You've got to accept he's dead.
Yeah, he's dead, but his soul might not. His soul's maybe in some realm. So he died during COVID. I was actually on the project that night. When I found, so I was doing. You did those same sort of segments where were you ever in the box? So basically, it was at a time when they were socially distancing the panel, and I was in that room. It was to that where you're just by yourself.
It's the loneliest I've ever been.
Oh, it was so
not on TV, in life. Because they are talking
the tears
about...
actually make it feel believable.
But it was. There was 3 of them in a different state on the desk together, me in a studio by myself, and they're talking about a global, worldwide pandemic, and then they look at me and I go, oh, here's a dog that fell on a slippery slide. And then they didn't want to laugh at anything because there's a global pandemic going on and they thought it might be a bad look for them. And there was no studio audience to laugh. And they'd look at the screen where I was meant to be, and then they'd turn back and they'd go, and so the number of deaths state by state. Like, I'm like, oh.
I mean, yeah,
why am I here?
out of context, yeah, that is one of the saddest sights. Just Tommy Little, a guy talking about a dog.
Well, there's a global pandemic going on. So you were in the box?
Yeah, I was in the box, and then I got a couple of missed calls from my dad on WhatsApp, and you know, we don't talk very often, and then I was like, I tried to call him back.
During the show?
Yeah, during the show, and then like didn't get through, and then I thought I'll wait till the end of the show. And immediately, like when I got a call from when I used to get calls from my dad,
You would worry?
I just immediately go, maybe it's just like, man, my nose. Can you cry from your nose? Because there's a lot coming out.
Snot is nose tears.
That's like science, man. Is this going to be like under a science category on YouTube?
But hang on, so your old man messaged you when you were live on
I had some missed calls from my dad. So then anyway, then the show wraps and I was still in the box.
Yeah.
And then I tried to
By yourself in a studio?
By myself in a studio. Not even the crew would come near us.
Yeah.
No one wanted to catch COVID.
Muslim. Oh, sorry. Yeah, COVID. Yeah. Sorry.
You don't catch Muslim, mate. You have to try and attain it. And you might be invited. It's like the Illuminati.
Oh, I'd love to be invited.
Mate,
This is like one of these secret parties he has. Everyone's been there. I've never been.
Well, I've sent you several Qurans.
Yeah. You know me and books.
I should have sent you a YouTube link. Like a cartoon version of it.
Is there a graphic novel?
I'm sure there would.
There would actually
be.
There would be.
That's another idea if we haven't.
Sorry.
So anyway, so I call back, and his friend picks up, Uncle Bari, and then he says, yeah, your dad has tested positive for antigen. And I was like, what? And he goes, I'll call you back. And then I was like, what the hell is positive for antigen? Anyway, then I realized, he's talking about like COVID. And my dad was already like an organ recipient. He was isolating because he was in the early stages of like when you receive an organ, you have to like, your body can't reject it. And then I think he just passed that period. And so he was completely isolated, but somehow he caught COVID. And this was at a time when there was not enough beds in hospitals and ventilators were like in shortage. And so, yeah, then I video called him on the way home. I was driving, it was kind of all illegal. And I got home and I saw like an ambulance there. And my dad was like, kind of like he had an oxygen mask on. I was like, Dad. And Uncle Bari, he was like showing my dad me. And my dad was like, he said, Nazeem. And then that was the last time I like spoke to him. And then from then on, he was just unconscious. And they were just rushing through in hospitals trying to find a bed. We all used our big contacts and we found like the Prime Minister's wife's friend or someone who got us a room in a hospital, but like an office space. So there wasn't even like a there was no like...
There was a desk.
It was just like there was a bed, he got treated, but there was no ventilation, like no... Remember those oxygen machines?
Yeah.
So basically, they said he was going to be fine and he was actually improving. And then got a call and it was my stepmom and she said, yeah, he's passed, and it was on video call. And so she was in denial at the time and was like, you know, the doctor had left and, you know, she was there with him and just trying to like wake him up and shake his chest and yeah, it was all over FaceTime and it was very surreal. Like, you know, so I started screen recording it to show my sisters and, you know, just because like...
If this is a fucking joke...
I swear to God, this is all real. I got the videos. It was a very, very weird experience. So sort of seeing...
Is this a joke?
No, I swear to God. It's all very true. But like, you know, that's the sort of like the way that she was reacting, the way that I was reacting was just like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do now. I was in my house by myself.
What were the last...
Literally my last words were, and also like I was just married at the time. Before he passed, I had another interaction with him on FaceTime where I was like, this is Nadine. I was like introducing him to my wife, and he was like very much out of it. He was like, oh. It was something he sort of like kind of acknowledged through murmurs. And then, yeah, the next time I saw him was when he passed on FaceTime, and his wife was just like in denial, just trying to wake him up. And that was just like, I was just watching it on my phone in isolation at home, just like, you know, trying to console her, and I was in shock, and then texting my sisters, and then we all went on like a 3-way WhatsApp thing, watching my stepmom, you know, grieve over, and you know, it was all very.
And he's just in a room at this point, not
Just
even
in a
a
room,
hospital.
not in a hospital, but like in
An
an office. It was just a very, very, very surreal.
So did you get to go over for a funeral?
So I still haven't actually gone over. So all the COVID funerals happened in like a far off place in Sri Lanka. And so they all, you know, it wasn't even like a very dignified sort of send off. They, you know, bodies were considered like contaminated.
Oh, yeah.
So we saw like, and for Muslim burials as well, like you sort of bury the body as soon as
Oh, it's
you
quick?
can.
It's got to be within 24 hours?
Oh, it's just like the sooner the better. Like, so it's within a couple of days.
Which should be a rule. Generally.
I think it's a bit of a thing. Like, look, different cultures, different religions have different ways of kind of dealing with death. But like, for Muslims, it's like, yeah, it's almost like the faster the better. It means that there is maybe like, you know, there's goodness in that, and there's all sorts of commentary around that. But yeah, we sort of saw him, and Muslim burials are very simple. It's like you come from the earth, so you go back to the earth, so you're just sort of wrapped in cloth. There's no, you know, grand coffins and.
Are you just saying that so you didn't have to fork out money on a funeral?
No, so I was just like, and that's.
Guys, let's keep it simple.
That's what.
Guys, let's keep it cheap and simple.
Don't worry about the big, you know, tombstones. But yeah, like it was literally there was no like wake. There was no sort of. We had like a Zoom wake. Or we're not a wake, you know. Like,
how
so
grim.
Yeah, it was one of the most.
How grim.
And I was meeting.
And because you don't drink, what are you even doing on a Zoom, mate?
Mate, you don't know how Muslims have a lot of fun with like. We're very fat people. Food is our thing. So,
I know.
You know, I'm a very bad Muslim. But most Muslims are like, you know, we're like Santa Claus, I reckon, is probably a Muslim. He's a fat, bearded guy who has a lot of kids. You never see his wife.
I mean, you know the elves aren't his kids, right?
Huh? They're not his kids.
The elves are not his kids.
Oh, I just thought it was like a Lebanese dad or something. You know, there's like a phrase in Islam: "Get married and multiply." So I was like, "Oh man, he's doing the Lord's work."
How do you say it?
I don't know. It's a little. That's the Arabic translation: "Get married and multiply." So I think it's just like.
What, you don't know how to say it?
Don't know how to say it in Arabic, but Google it. Someone write it in the comments. Now we've just expanded the audience even more.
That's just a phrase in English.
You got science Muslims watching, Muslim scientists. Huh? It's a phrase in English, you know.
Yeah. Get married and multiply.
So here's the beauty of Islam, you know, like anyone can, you don't need to speak Arabic, and
do you speak Arabic?
you can come with your past, you know, your tattoo.
With my past.
I don't speak Arabic. My wife's Lebanese and she speaks a little bit of Arabic. So she's teaching the kids Arabic. I don't know what she's saying to them.
Do you know my mum? So my mum was desperate to get a job
I don't know your mum.
as a volunteer. You've met my mum.
Desperate to get a job as a volunteer?
Yeah, so she wasn't able to get jobs. Like they were knocking her back for different volunteer jobs. And one came up at the Asylum Seeker Resource Centre.
Wait, so she was getting rejected for a job that doesn't even pay?
Yeah. And one came up at the Asylum Seeker Resource Centre and it said, we'd love you to be within the age of the people coming in. So it was like 24 to 37, roughly. And we'd love you to be able to speak Farsi, Urdu, and something else. And my mum can speak about 5 words in German, and that's it. And
Did she just pretend?
And she applied. And she got the job.
So how did she convince them that she could speak these languages?
No, she didn't. She just turned up and they went, well, little old whitest lady we've ever seen. And all these people are coming in, throwing some Farsi at her. And she's like,
yes.
Sprechen die Deutsch.
Guten Tag.
I know, it gets you.
Oh my God, I in the prisons, I've gone to the prisons to do this. There's a prison chaplaincy program where you hang out with prisoners, and like there's this Muslim prison where you basically hang out with Muslim prisoners and let them know that there's a community out there, so when you come out, you can hang out with us to help them not re-offend, right? Anyway, so I'm very underqualified to be teaching anybody about life, and they were like, we really need someone to do the Friday prayers. So I was like, all right, I'll go do the prayers. Like I can do a very basic version. And before the prayer, someone has to do the adhan. You know that call to prayer, Allahu Akbar, you see it in movies.
What is it?
Before terrorist stuff happens.
Give us the...
I'm not going to do the whole thing, but it's where they go, Allahu Akbar, and they do that 4 times, and then there's
Can I say it, or is that rude if I say
it?
it?
You can say it, absolutely. Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar,
Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar.
Okay, out of context, that is going to be used.
Oh,
Like Tommy has converted. Do you know, like...
Also, you did this, bro. I didn't know. I just copied you.
No, that's great. No. As in, like, that's going to be used against you by Sky News at some point.
Oh, give a
If you
fuck.
commit a crime, they're going to be like, you know, it's because he always had these radical Muslim friends. Like, he's got a background with...
That's fine. I thought you'd stitch me up
No,
and say,
no,
like,
no.
oh, yeah, Muslims are little bugs.
But anyway, so this guy in prison, right, he was like, so I was like, does anybody want to do the call to prayer? And one guy's like, yeah, and he's a convert, and he said, I don't even know if he was a convert. I think he just wanted to get out of his cell.
Yeah, of course. Be part of a thing.
Exactly, so this guy's like, I'll do it. So he starts doing it, but he doesn't know what he's doing, so he's just going, Allah, Allah, Allah. Oh, he does it for like 40 times, and I don't know how to stop him because he's a prisoner, and there's all these tough prisoners. And suddenly this other guy stands up, this Lebo guy, and he goes, "Bro, he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, right?" It was almost like a punch on it, and I was there like the guy. I had to like go, "All right, guys, just calm down, everybody." So, like, I had to do it, and then I started the sermon. And normally when you do the sermon, literally the sermon was me just reading a thing about being nice to each other. You're not supposed to talk, but people were asking questions and then telling stories and arguing with each other. Who stole my food the other day? Yeah. And it was just like, it became chaos. It was the last time I've ever done it. But
Was this youth? Was this Parkville?
this is the one across like Spencer Street. This is like a remand
Oh,
centre.
yeah.
Yeah, there's like, you know, it's where you go when you first commit a crime before they send you.
Yeah.
Man, this is like really hurting my eyes.
Oh, no, me too. It's. Did you go in? So how are you still doing that? The prison?
I did it when I was maybe 10 years ago.
Okay.
I've been to a bunch
Bro,
of them. Yeah.
I
Have
did.
you done it?
I did 2 years, and I
As
went
in,
as in no,
Okay,
as in
yeah.
2 years going into to
visit prisoners?
to help.
Right.
And I honestly.
What were you doing? Like, what do you mean to help?
So I was doing like, basically the idea was I'll teach them radio stuff, but in the hope that they get the confidence to be able to look someone in the eye and talk to them, because a lot of the kids, it was youth, right? A lot of the kids don't have the confidence and they won't look at you. They'll talk down here and stuff. And so it was about like learning to communicate. So if they get a job interview, then they can look someone in the eyes and go, hey, this is why I think I'd be good for the job.
Give me the job.
Yeah, with that. You won't believe it, Travis is back in. Thanks for teaching, Tommy. But I went in full, like, Michelle Pfeiffer in, Dangerous Minds, being like, I'm going to make a difference.
Like going into one of those tough schools.
Bro, 2 years and nothing. They'd be like, I'd have them for a class, and they'd just be like, yo, can we listen to music? Because there was one chance they had to have access to a laptop. And I'd be like, yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, how do you intimidate kids that are good at intimidating?
Yeah. Well, no, to be fair, they were so sweet.
Really?
The kids were so sweet. But and I get it.
Yeah.
They're like, and I'm underqualified.
Yeah.
So I didn't even have a firm case for why they should listen to me.
You're right.
I was like...
I would have just kept pointing at my tattoos and been like, I'm just like you guys. I get it. You know?
Oi, sick, yeah?
Pretty sick.
Yeah? Oi, sick, yeah? Oi, sick, yeah?
I once went, there's a school actually in Broadmeadows, and it's for like at-risk youth. Similar, I think they're like kids that have maybe been in trouble with the law, and someone, she was like, oh, can you come speak to them, I think, you're a cool comedian. I was like, yeah, I don't know. So go in there, and they're all these like kind of cool teenage kids, and I was like already intimidated, because they're already like kind of like not very impressed by me being there. But before I start, the teacher's just like, hey, everybody, listen up, all right? Have some respect for this guy, all right? He's a comedian, he's normally on TV. I was like, and then she goes, let's watch one of his clips. And she pressed play on my gala set.
Oh, no.
And I was like, why didn't you tell me that you get to... And then she started playing it, and literally they were all just watching it, chewing gum, not laughing at anything. No. And they were just like, who the hell is this nerd, weird guy? And I had nothing
that thinks he's on TV.
He's cool. So I started talking to him. I dropped in a few swear words just to try and let him know, like, I don't care about the rules.
Yeah. What's up, you little cunts? Big Naz dog here.
By the end, like, I don't know if I taught them more or like they were just more emboldened in like breaking the. I don't know. That was the last time I've ever gone back.
But I remember one stage I did this, like same thing. I was going to sit in this classroom and they had phones, right? And they were they were kids who had just got out of prison, and I was sitting there, and I was sitting in between these two kids. One hated me, and the other one loved me. And the other one was like, hey, can we have a selfie together? And I'm like, sure. And the teacher's trying to teach, and I'm sitting in the back, and I take a selfie. But then the one that loved me would send it to the one on the other side, who would then message back, send it to this one, who'd show me, and so it'd be a message back. I think, these are not my words, but he goes, I think he's a fucking faggot, like this, right? And it showed me that. And then you'd hear laughing on this side and be like, and I'm sitting there like,
yeah, that's pretty funny.
Stop. But then they want another photo. It'd be like, oh, another one?
Oh my God.
Send again. And so I just wait for these insults to come back. And this kid on the other side would just sit there like.
Seriously, like that is so intimidating. Impressing teenagers is the scariest because they're the coolest generation, they're the coolest sort of age bracket. And they're also just not easily impressed.
No.
And we're old. You suddenly realise how old you are.
And all the shit's lame.
Yeah, I know.
Like, even like being on TV.
Yeah,
you're like,
so
this guy's on TV, and they're like, fucking, what loser has a TV now?
On the news show?
Yeah.
On the news show.
Cool.
Yeah, I saw like, that's how I realised my age when like someone, when a younger person recognised me from the project and they're like, hey, you that guy from the news show? I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Been on it a couple of times, but.
Yeah.
No, it's lame, man. It's a dying medium, you know? I'm all about TikTok.
Yeah. And then you're like, I'm on TikTok too, but is it just clips from the news show? Yeah, it is. It's not original content.
I don't even know, like...
just repackaged.
Is cool like an old word now? Like saying something's cool? Like, I don't even know what... Like, is that now...
I mean, this chat is.
Yeah.
Asking is anything.
Well, we've just lost that audience. We've still got the science people probably and the Muslims. But...
Especially when I'm doing a bit of this stuff. I've definitely got the Muslims when I'm doing a bit of this gear. Which you promised me it's okay.
Is your nose just dry as?
I know, I'm everything.
There's like, it's gross. Like, no one should be eating these onions. I don't mean... Definitely not now. Just wipe it off, probably with a fresh one.
These are going into the prison.
Give it to those damn kids.
Give it to those 2 kids who are sending shit about me.
Oh my God, okay, this is just gross.
Okay.
I shouldn't be rubbing my eyes, man.
Definitely not.
Definitely not. Actually burning.
I don't mean to bring it back just because it is a sad topic, but I do need to know the end result, which is, did you ever get to say goodbye to your dad?
I want to go this year to say goodbye to my dad. So
the pandemic ended 2 years ago.
Well, that's what they want you to think if you watch that news show. But the pandemic of misinformation...
I've been on TikTok.
and the vaccines, man.
I've seen a sovereign citizen say to a copper with a body cam...
Damn straight. Yeah. See, now you get it, man.
No, you can't have my license.
This is the sort of shit that kids like, this sort of talk.
Yeah.
But no, I haven't gone back, and it's a real bad thing, and I've got to go back.
Were you close?
No. Well, we were towards the end. So... See, this is my it's not my theory with comedians, right? But my manager actually has this theory. Comedians all have a daddy issue. And then I was like, what? No, not all comedians. She's like, yeah, think about it. Literally every comedian you know has some sort of issue with their dad, and they all try. Therefore, they're on stage trying to get this validation from a anonymous public to fill that void in their heart that their dad didn't fill.
So we have our dads to thank.
So my dad left when I was 5 or 6.
Oh.
And therefore, thank you very much, I guess, for now leading me down this path.
Yes.
With your absence, so that I get to hang out and cut onions with Tommy Little.
Great. Great tip for any dad.
Absolutely.
Any dads who want to get their kids
into comedy.
No,
leave. Develop like a drinking problem.
Did your dad have a drinking problem?
He had a drinking problem.
What happens? But I didn't think you could drink.
Oh, well, I mean, not all Muslims are good Muslims.
I was going to say.
He had bin Laden, like, he was not a good Muslim.
I guess probably leaving your kids is pretty high up on the Muslim don't do list.
I think it's, we don't have, like, commandments, but if there were, I think it'd be like, thou shalt not just go to Sri Lanka when your kids live in Australia.
They got real specific on that.
Very specific in Mecca 1,400 years ago.
Yeah. Thou shalt not leave Nazeem when he's 5.
Because he's got 2 sisters and a single mum in a country that she doesn't really know very well. Who's going to raise him to be a man in such a challenging environment? So, you know, that should be a commandment.
It should be.
But yeah, so...
Okay,
what do we... Because go.
No, so then you reconnected?
So then when I was like So yeah, you know, like when you're a young kid, you want your dad, and I was like really needing my dad, and you know, I would actually like kind of like lie about my dad not leaving to my friends at school. I was like, oh yeah, my dad's just he's at work, and then they're like, where's your dad? How come he's not at the singing competition and whatever, or like the graduation? I was like, oh yeah, no, he's busy again. I'd kind of like feel embarrassed. It was embarrassing. I felt embarrassed, which is a weird thing to like.
It's embarrassing.
To admit that now.
Yeah, it's embarrassing that you thought, oh, the dad's been down the shops getting milk for 4 years. Excuse.
I mean, it was like,
how many groceries must one family need?
He was very particular about the milk. You know?
Yeah, it needed to be Sri Lankan.
He was looking for almond milk before there was almond milk. He was there milking the little nuts.
He needed breast milk, but not from the mother of his children.
No, he had to find a new.
I've got to test every breast until I find the milk that I like. And the
You're talking about my
milk that I
stepmom,
like is. No, I'm talking about the women
She's
before her.
She's grieving, mate. She's a widow.
Sorry.
Or a widower. No, she's a widow. He's a widower. No.
She's a widow.
Because you know
she's a widow.
She's a widow. If
He's
he can't be
dead.
the widower,
He's dead.
He's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he
I
doesn't
don't
have a
think
title.
widow. Yeah, he does. It's dead.
Yeah, but it's not. You don't. But
You say he's a dead man.
right.
You don't say he's a
but if like
widowy.
if the wife dies, then the husband's called the widower, which sounds like he's done the widowing.
No, the husband is still the widow.
Nah, it's a widower. It's a
Is
widow.
it?
It's a widower.
A widower sounds like a musical
See,
instrument.
look, all the linguists, the word people, they've joined the chat. Well, it's a widower, I swear to God. Oh, so look, a widow is a woman whose spouse has died and who hasn't remarried. A widower is a man whose spouse has died and who hasn't remarried. But my dad remarried, and now then he died, so he has remarried.
You got a big thing of snot just hanging.
You can't zoom in on it.
But so then you reconnected with the old man?
Yeah, so then like when I got older, when I was like a teenager, and then you kind of like not want you don't need your dad as much. That's when he was like, oh, I'm getting old, I need to connect with my kids.
I need a carer.
And then he's, I need a carer.
This care shit costs money. Where's that kid, what's his face, who I left when he was 5 years old on the other side of the world? Where's that small, hopefully bigger slave
I don't
now?
know if I'm crying because of the onions or because of what you're saying about my dead dad.
It's a shit.
You know he's dead, Tommy, by the way.
Yeah,
I know I laugh a lot, I joke around, but I got feelings.
Yeah, I'm crying. I got feelings.
But no, anyway. but yeah, so he reconnected when I was a teenager. And then he started telling everybody that he was responsible for my comedy career.
Fuck.
I did a show in Sri Lanka.
But you said he was, by
Well,
leaving.
actually, he was.
Fuck, it's actually
You're right. Maybe he was actually not trying to claim credit like in a false way.
Yeah, in an undue...
Yeah, I did a show in Sri Lanka and I did interviews with journos, and then after I talked to the journos, then he went and talked to him, and he was like, I always knew he was going to be a good comedian, and I encouraged him. And maybe he did with...
He went and did the interviews.
He did them. Mate, I mean...
It'd be so funny for those journos. They're like, I'm Nazeem's dad. They're like, okay, so you want to set up the tape again? Sure, I guess. Gary, we've got to... Can you plug that camera back in? We've got Adele Nazeem's dad.
Oh my God.
Who wants to have a chat. I don't know, just ask him... I don't know. Ask him what it's like to be a good father. Oh, it's going to be a quick fucking answer.
You just go to Flight Centre? One way, thanks.
I'm going to make him a fucking star.
Occupation, making kids stars.
Just a one-way ticket out of here. I'm only doing this accent because it's racist if I do yours.
Do you know what Sri Lanka is? Not near England.
Hey, give us a fucking rundown.
Malaysian. They do.
Damn it. Oh, hang on. I know. Wait. I've got it.
Go.
Give us a fucking cold too.
Oh! Hey! Koto, is how you pronounce it. But yeah, that's mate.
It's the best.
Kotos are the best. It's like the street food in Sri Lanka, and it's very, it's musical.
I reckon I had it nearly every night I was there.
Wait, you went to Sri Lanka?
Yeah.
What? You could have visited my dad.
No, he's dead, bro.
Yeah. You can still visit graves. Anyway.
You haven't.
Yeah, I know, but like this
It's pretty rich for me, the onus to be on me.
Well, you could have, told me how it is before, like, help me out. It's a big thing. Anyway.
Hey, Nazeem.
Do you want me to visit you?
It's what you'd expect, bro.
Yeah.
I'll FaceTime you.
I can't see him.
I assume he's here somewhere. I think we might have done enough.
I think we've done enough, really. What do we do with all the onions now? Oh, I got a great recipe. Would you want?
Yeah.
You would eat these?
Yeah.
But once you cook it, like the germs and the snot and stuff, it's like wine. It kind of fries out.
I forgot about the snot. But whatever we would do, we won't waste them.
Snot's just like water with a little bit of like your DNA as well.
It's
personalised, these onions.
It's the worst tagline for a water company. that they're unsure legally whether it definitely doesn't have snot in it. So they have to clarify.
May contain traces of DNA and water.
DNA and water.
Bracket snot.
Nazeem Hussain, you're a great man. Thank you very much.
Just like my dad. This is seriously, I didn't really think it would go here, but here we are.